Getting control over stress and anxiety can feel like herding wild cats. So I've got 5 ways to help you. I think the first thing that we need to understand with anxiety is that the biological purpose of anxiety is to protect you. So actually, when you're feeling anxiety in regular situations, it's like your body saying you feel unsafe. So one of the things that in our modern society, I think it's important to know is that our brain is really, really old and it hasn't caught up to our everyday living experiences. So sometimes our amygdala, which is the that core in your brain, the fear center, pushes out fear signals at times that aren't really threatening. You know, back in the day, they had saber-toothed tigers that you had to protect yourself from, and now the things that we have anxiety about or fear around are not physically life-threatening. So we actually have to work with or even sometimes against our natural impulses so that we have the strategies to deal with a real situation right in front of us instead of having an exaggerated response. So the first tip that I have to offer when you're feeling like you're laying awake at night and your mind's going like that is so simple. Just deep breath 3 times, really deep breath, and say, I'm okay now. Everything is okay now. I'm safe. And I can tell you, I lived in Burkina Faso for 2.5 years, and we experienced a revolution, a coup d'etat. There was fear that maybe Ebola would come to the area. And I had to practice these things in situations where I did physically feel threatened. And actually, it was really, really grounding and did help me a lot. So first one, really remember when you're feeling the anxiety, notice it, 3 deep breaths, and then say, look around. Like if you're laying in your bed at night and your mind's spinning, you are safe now. And just say, I'm safe now, there's no threat. The next one I think that is really helpful when you're feeling stressed or get a sense of anxiety coming on, that to really get clear on control. Our minds are spinning and we're like, what if that happens? What if this happens? And you're sort of anticipating worst case scenario. And one of the ways to calm down is, again, take a deep breath and say, what do I have control over? Okay, because sometimes we end up worrying about things that we have no control over. So the other thing you can say is, who is in control of the thing that I'm worried about? So if you are in control of it, but someone else is, can you do something to extend what your needs are or what you're interested in? Okay, so that was get clear on control. The next one is very similar in terms of when your mind is spinning, stop for a moment and think, how can I plan or problem solve? So if you're lying awake at night and you're worried about a work situation or you're worried about an event that you're planning or about the next move, then take a moment, whether you do it right then or if you do it the next day, and say, what is weighing on my mind the most? Okay, what is weighing on my mind the most? And then what can I plan now to help alleviate the weight on my shoulders? Okay, so that's planning and problem solving, because often we're so busy anticipating challenges. And if we know, one, where I'm in control or who is in control of it, we can let go of some of that sort of graspy energy around the whole situation. And then we can anticipate the challenges and plan for what we do have control over. That then helps sort of relax the lizard brain and the monkey mind that keeps spinning in the middle of the night. One thing I think people often overlook is the 4th one, and that's just pure social connection, social support. And that's what is so good about the Triangles group, is because we get it. We've been there. We have an immense amount of experience in the group. People are, have professional qualifications all over the board or have lived in tons of regions. We've had many family experiences. So reaching out for social support, whether that's in a group like the Triangles or whether it's one-on-one, or if you have a spiritual or religious leader, don't forget you are absolutely not alone in whatever situation that you're going through. The last one that I want to mention is positive thinking and humor, how that can help alleviate anxiety. And the first thing around humor is surround yourself with people that make you laugh. Surround yourself with people that make you feel good. And if they aren't in your physical environment, then reach out online or your friends over Skype and think, who are the people that make me feel great? Because feeling anxiety makes you feel tense and stressed, and it's hard to be tense and stressed and laugh at the same time. So if you surround yourself with humor, that will help. And along with humor is positive thinking. We often, when we're in a stressful situation, we think that's not good and that's not working and that's really bad. And we sort of, whatever we draw attention to grows. So stop for a moment and say, sure, that is crappy and I get that, and give yourself some empathy for that. And stop and say, but what is good? What is working? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your children. Maybe it's your job. Focus on what is working, and that will help reduce the fear center in your brain. Like, I'm not under threat in every single aspect of my life. Okay, so those are 5 strategies that you can use to calm the lizard brain. I do have one more. I'm a coach, so I work with things, we call it thought work. So there's one thing where you can give me a specific thought and then we can work on it and see if that's true and sort of create, reduce anxiety that way. But that's something we would need to do over messaging or one-to-one. The one last thing I want to say is to avoid wishful thinking. Because often when we sit in place of anxiety, we're like, oh, I wish that didn't happen. I wish this were different. And when you catch yourself in a place of wishful thinking, because that doesn't make you feel good, right? You can't change what already happened. Then acknowledge it and say, I'm really disappointed that happened, or I'm really upset that happened, but I'm grateful for this. So that's another way that you can challenge the lizard brain. All right, that's it for me. Those are some ideas. I hope it works. Like anything, knowing is not enough. You have to do it. So if one of these ideas seem interesting to you, then pick one and do it consistently for 2 weeks so you can feel the real impact, and let me know how it goes. All right, take care. Bye.